Therefore, we're gonna go over 16 story today. 16 most important science concept. We'll start with atom. And number 11 is 12 is magnet. Number 13 is poles. Number 14 is unit of circuit. And number 15 is battery. Alright, so let's start with atom. So atom. So what is the definition of atom? Definition of atom is the smallest unit of matter. So it was discovered by Democritus some 2,400 years ago. So some 20. Yeah, yesterday we talked about the irrational number. So irrational number 1 and square root of 2. So is someone in Greek some 2,400 years ago came out with this irrational number, and the Pythagoreans thought that will make God unhappy because the irrational number doesn't exist, and irrational number make God very sad. So they ended up killing that guy. However, now we think that irrational number is as good as rational number. Now we know that irrational number is, so I mentioned that it's because Greek was the center of everything 2,400 years ago. So the concept of atom was realized by some Greek philosopher named Democritus some 2,400 years ago. Democritus he took an apple, he started cutting the apple, and he kept cutting it until he couldn't cut anymore. That tiny piece he called atom, which means in English uncuttable. So there are three things inside the atom. We now know they are electron, neutron, and proton. Now we're going to do first electron. So electron, what is the definition of electron? Is a negatively charged particle. Who discovered it? It was discovered by J.J. Thomson, 1897. Now let's give an example to understand it. Let's start with hydrogen atom. Hydrogen has one proton and two. The atomic number is 1 and atomic mass is 2. So hydrogen plus and minus. So hydrogen is stable without a neutron in it because there is only proton, and the net charge of this hydrogen atom is 0 because the same number of electron and proton. To remember the concept to proton. So number 3 is proton. So definition, let's start by definition. Definition of proton. Proton is positively charged particle. And someone named Ernest Rutherford discovered discovered proton in 1917. Now we already used hydrogen to understand the atom. So we're gonna we did electron. Now we're gonna do helium to understand the proton. So helium has two. The atomic number is 2 and atomic mass is 4. So this is a helium atom. The mass of electron is 9 times 10 raised to negative 31 kilogram, and the charge of electron is 1.6 times 10 raised to 19 coulomb. This is negative. And what is the mass of the proton? Mass of the proton is 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilogram, and the charge of the proton is 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 19 coulomb. So this is positive and this guy is negative. This guy is negative. This is positive charge. This is negative charge. They are same value, but they are different charges. That takes us to neutron. So neutron, the definition of a neutron is neutron has no charge. No charge. So who discovered neutron? This was discovered by Ernest Rutherford. This was discovered by J.J. Thomson, and neutron was discovered by James Chadwick, 1932. We used the hydrogen to understand the electron. We used the helium to understand the proton. Now we're going to use hydrogen, helium, lithium to understand the neutron. So lithium has 3 atomic number and 6 atomic mass. So we're going to draw the lithium. It has 1 electron in the outer orbital and 2 electron in the inner orbital, and it has proton 3 and neutron 3. So what is the mass of a neutron? Mass of a neutron is just like mass of proton, 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilogram. Why the mass of neutron and mass of proton same? Is because they live in the same house called nucleus. And what is the charge of neutron? The charge of proton is this, but charge of neutron is 0 coulomb. And that takes us to our next one, and that is electron configuration. So we're going to do electron configuration by we use the hydrogen, we use the helium, we use the lithium. Now we're going to use the beryllium. So electron configuration for beryllium. So what is electron configuration? We start with the definition. Definition of electron configuration is address of electron inside the atom. So when we say address of electron inside the atom, we actually mean this is an atom, this is a hydrogen atom, electron, there is a electron cloud outside the nucleus. So electron can be here, can be here. So we use the probability to understand the address. When we talk about your address, we actually talk about 100. If I send you a letter to your address, there is 100% probability you will probably receive the letter. If I send the letter to electron, there is only 10, 20, 50% probability electron would reach it, because electron can be here, there, everywhere at the same time and nowhere at the same time. So understanding the electron is a big deal, and that's what we're going to do. Electron configuration for beryllium. So we're going to draw a semicircle. We're going to write nucleus. Let's do it for beryllium. So first state, second state, and there are how many electron in beryllium? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. There are 4. So on the first state there is 2 electron, so we cancel 2. On the second state there is 2, so we're gonna write beryllium. So 2, 4, 1s squared and 2s squared. So this is the address of a beryllium in the atom. Now that takes us to the next one, energy level. So energy level will probably take us a little long to understand it. So energy level, let's start by definition. What is energy level? Energy level, so energy level, an isolated electron. Keep in mind that unlike poles, charges can be isolated. So an isolated electron is nothing but a negatively charged particle. So a negatively charged particle, an electron, an isolated electron can take only discrete, number of a value. When I say isolated electron can take only discrete number of value, I actually mean, let's count how many people in this room. 15 people. Can we have more than 15 people? Yeah, all we need to do invert some people. So we can have more than 15 people. Can we have less than 15 people? Yeah, all we need to do kick some people out from this room. If someone dropped the course, then we're gonna no longer have 15 people, 14. Can we have 10.5 people? No, we cannot have 10.5 people. So discrete is something like whole number. It can 1, 2, 3. It cannot be in between. So when we drew the helium atom, that means when we drew the lithium atom, electron can be here on the first orbital or on the second orbital. Electron cannot be in the middle. So now the equation for it is En equal to E1 over n squared. Now E1 is minus 2.17 times 10 raised to negative 18 joule, and we have to convert it to the electron volt. Now 1 electron volt is 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 18 joule. This is the same in magnitude, but the unit is different, joule. So now we're gonna do the conversion, unit conversion, to change change it from joule to convert it from joule to electron volt. And this is pretty simple way of doing it, is negative 2.17 times 10 raised to negative 18 times 1 joule. 1 electron volt is 1.6 times 10 raised to negative 19 joule. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna cancel joule. So joule cancel. So now, if you remember the scientific notation, which is A times 10 raised to B, and A is between 1 to 10. So this is our A, and this is also our A. So let's take care of the A over A, which is minus 2.17 over 1.6. Now let's take care of 10, which is 10 raised to negative 18. And when you move it up, negative become positive, you get positive 19. So 2.17 divided by 1. If you don't understand one way, you will understand probably the other way. So on that one side of the tree table, we're gonna draw a hydrogen atom. In the hydrogen atom, you have the nucleus, which is a proton sitting inside, and then from this proton, you have a radius. We can call it R1, and the next one is we can call it R2. If I have the another one, we can call it R3, and if I have the another one, we can call it R infinity. So this means that this orbital is infinitely away from the nucleus. Now we will do other way to understand the same concept. We're gonna put first orbital. We're gonna call it n equal to 1, which represent energy level 1, and then we're gonna call n equal 2, which is energy level 2, n equal 3, which is energy level 3, and n equal infinity, which is energy level infinity, n equal 1. We can use this equation. We still have this equation over here, so we can use this equation. This is 13.5 divided by 1, so electron volt 13.5 divided by 1 is still 13.5, so energy level 1 is 13.5 electron volt. That means this guy is R1, this guy is R1, this guy is R2, this guy is R3, and this guy is R infinity. And at energy level 1, I have 13.5 electron volt. What about at energy level 2? At energy level 2, I have to divide it by 2 times 2, 4. So this is at R2 or N2, N2, R2 or N2. So then 13.5 divided by 4 is 3 something. So I have energy is negative 3 something electron volt. And what about at n equal to 3? At n equal to 3 or radius equal to 3, I have 13.5 divided by 3 square, which is 9. Then I have something like 1.5. So I have negative 1.5 electron volt. What about at infinity? If I divide 13.5 divided by infinity, any number divided by infinity is 0 by definition. So at energy level infinity, at infinite orbital, I have energy 0. Now let's understand. Let's use that information to understand what we have on the left side. At the ground state. At the ground state, energy is negative 13.5 electron volt. That means that the electron is very close to the neutron, very close to the proton. Then proton is happy because proton has full control over the electron, because the electron is very close to proton. Because proton loves see electron moving around it. However, if the electron can absorb some energy from the environment, it can jump to the next level. It needs some 10 electron volt. If it jump to the next level, it is from here to here. Now the proton has less control over electron because it's further away. Now what if electron move from here to here? Now this is 1.5. So if it can move, electron move here, then it has the proton has even less control over electron. Then proton, all of a sudden, proton said, "What's going on? Electron is moving away from me." At one point, proton said, "Wait a minute, why electron is moving away? Is because electron is gaining energy. If it gains enough energy, it can jump to here. If it jump here, then the proton no longer controlling electron, and electron can leave the hydrogen atom at any time, making the hydrogen atom a cation. It can become a positively charged ion." We will stop here. We will do the rest of the study tomorrow.